Hi, welcome to Mindful Mutterings, the podcast dedicated to nurturing your well-being and unlocking the power of your mindset. I'm Chris Maragkakis, women's life and mindset coach, and together we'll explore the transformative world of well-being and mindset, helping you to thrive in every aspect of your life. So please like, subscribe and share, and join us on this roller coaster journey called life. Thanks for listening. Hi, thanks for joining me. So this week I'm talking about self-love and how we can learn to love ourselves. It's a question I'm asked so many times. And the thing is, self-love is not a destination. And I know this sounds like a real cliche, but it is a lifelong journey. You know, we have to accept and cherish ourselves, or we have to learn how to do that. And that means we have to accept our flaws and everything about us, and we have to know that actually that's okay. You know, we are doing the best that we can with what we have right now. And then we want to nurture a positive relationship with the person we spend the most time with, which is us and the thoughts inside our head. So I'm going to explain various aspects of self-love, including mindfulness and mindset, improving self-esteem, how we can discover our strengths, talk about seeking coaching, strategies for self-love, letting go of negativity, and then what you can do in your journey to continue towards self-love. So let's get started. As with all things, mindfulness is a place to start. Until we are aware of our thoughts and feelings, how can we know where we're holding our judgment? So mindfulness is actually the foundation of self-love. And it involves becoming fully present in the moment without judgment, and that's the key. Now, mindfulness has become a huge topic that is often misrepresented and can seem overwhelming to start applying, because you're just supposed to do everything about everything. So my advice would be to start small. You know, begin by just taking a few moments each day to just sit quietly and just focus on your breath. You don't want to hold it, you don't want to control it, you don't want to change it, just observe it. And then let go of any of the worries that you might have about the past or future. Because by practicing mindfulness, you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions. And over time, you'll become aware of the thoughts and emotions without judging them. And then this leads to us being able to observe them and let them go, which in turn then makes space for the quieter and often more impactful thoughts and feelings to rise up. And these are the ones we want to be listening to, because this is where we can begin to understand where our lack of self-love stems from, and then what we need to do to move forward. And so it's this process that then helps us to move away from the trigger and reaction process to a stimulus and response process, which obviously then gives us more control over how we live our lives and how much power we give to other people, allowing them to define us. And alongside adopting a mindfulness practice, we're going to need a mindset shift as well. We're going to need to embrace positivity. Because essentially what we're going to do is we're going to start working on cultivating a growth mindset. And to do that, we need to start believing in our ability to change and grow. Now, we don't have to be the person that we were anymore, the one that is causing or that we feel is lacking. Not that there is anything wrong with that person, but the point is we don't have to stay the same. We are sentient spiritual beings. We have the capacity to grow. And once we've identified what it is that is not working for us, we can change that. We don't have to stay the same. But to do that, we're going to need to do a few things. Like we have to become mindful. We need to have a mindset shift, and we need to embrace positivity and this idea that we can be more. Because we're not the way that people have molded us. That's just conditioning. So like I said, we're a free-willed spirit who can choose to challenge and change any thought that is holding us back. So the first place to begin is by challenging the negative self-talk. And we will have realised that we're doing negative self-talk through our mindfulness practice. And the thoughts in our head are the most powerful influence on our life, because we think the same thoughts over and over again every day. I've said it before, but there's research that proves that 90% of the thoughts we have each day are exactly the same as the ones before. And of those 90%, before we become involved with mindfulness practices and mindset shifts, that 80% are likely to be negative or cause us stress. So it's so vitally important to become aware of what we're thinking and how we're talking to ourselves. Because once we've identified that, we can start to replace it with self-compassionate thoughts. And we have to remember that making a mistake is part of being human, and that mistakes, or what we perceive to be mistakes, actually provide valuable learning experiences. And then when we become aware of a negative belief, we can ask ourselves, whose voice do we associate with it? Because most of our negative thoughts come from other people's repeated opinions of us. Now, they might not have said it out loud, or we might have picked up with it on a subconscious level on the way that they respond to us or the way that they behave with us. But it's come from them originally, and then we've taken it on board. So once we've identified that, ask yourself how much of that thought you really believe to be true. 1%, 10%, 100%, and then play with rephrasing it from an absolute to a sometimes and see how that feels. So what I mean about that is, if you had the thought that I'm clumsy, which is an absolute, so I'm clumsy, it's what I do all the time, it's how I live my life, I'm clumsy, I just bumble through life. That can become, sometimes I drop on or knock things over when I'm tired or in a hurry. Now, so you've been told you're clumsy maybe all your life, or you've perceived that, people have shouted at you when you've spilt things, or they've got annoyed with you. And so you've built this belief that you are clumsy. But actually, when you question it and you think, well, actually, no, I don't spend my entire day knocking everything over, and I don't bump into everything. So how much of that do I own? Well, actually, maybe only 1%, because really, if I think about it, I only drop things or knock things over when I'm tired or I'm in a hurry. So actually, this is now no longer a limiting belief. This is now a statement of truth, and then you can choose to do something about it, and that's really liberating. And in this case, it would be get more sleep, or just pay more attention when you're tired to the things that you're doing, because you now know that you're more likely to knock things over or break things when you're feeling tired. And that gives us control and power. So then we need to improve our self-esteem, and we need to celebrate our worth. So because once we've identified and challenged the root cause of our low self-esteem, then we can begin to move on. And we need to start that, actually. It's not we can start, we need to start that by listing our accomplishments and our positive qualities. And sometimes that's really hard, because it's really hard, depending on how low our self-worth is, to think of anything that we're good at. But just start small, Maybe it's even just the fact that you're aware that you need to change. That shows huge strength of character. Start there. What do your friends say about you? Do they say that you're kind, or do they say that you're clever? Why do you not believe them? Start challenging those beliefs and start listing the qualities that you have and the things that you have achieved in your life over all of your life. Maybe you did really well at school. Maybe you're really artistic. Maybe you're a great gardener. Who knows? But list the skills that you have, because we are all individuals, and we all have, no matter how far down we think they might be buried, we all have skills that we can share with the world. Excuse me. So then, once we've identified our positive qualities, we can then use our strengths to overcome our perceived faults, or to shore them up. And we can identify the people as well that don't add to our lives, and we can begin to find ways to deal with them. Maybe we let them go, or maybe we find ways to change the way we interact with them so that we're no longer affected by their behaviours. And this then makes space in our lives to let new people in who are supportive to us and will lift us up and encourage us, and who we feel we can believe when they say something nice about us. And that then leads us on to discovering our strengths and uncovering our unique gifts. So once we've made a list of our qualities and our accomplishments, then we can make a list of our strengths, our talents, and our passions. And like I said, we have to embrace our uniqueness, because there is only one of you, and that is your superpower. And then you can use your strengths to pursue the activities that bring you joy and fulfillment and attract like-minded people into your life, and also to find the employment that works best for you, to find the way that works best for you in your life, in as much as you're problem solving, or in the way that you interact with people or you communicate. All of a sudden you're seeing all these ways in which you can thrive and excel, rather than being given limited ways to behave which maybe don't work for you, and that's why you've felt that somehow you're inferior or that you're not worthy. And then maybe it's about seeking coaching and support and really investing in yourself. Sometimes it's really worth considering seeking professional help, such as a coach like moi, um, or whoever it might be, because sometimes we need to work through deeper issues and we need to develop self-love strategies that are tailored to our needs. And a trained coach or counsellor can provide valuable insights and guidance to help you on your journey. And I know sometimes it seems a bit daunting, or it seems that maybe that, we failed if we need that kind of support, or maybe we can't justify the cost of the support. But the question has to be, if it comes down to finances, do you not love yourself enough to invest in yourself? Will it not be worth it? If you don't invest in yourself, this is how your life is going to continue. Whereas one short, sharp investment has the power to completely change the way that you live. And also by seeking help wherever it may be, and there are, there's lots of different ways that you can get support for how you're feeling. To acknowledge that you need support and then to go and look for it or to search for it is the most empowered thing that you can do. It is the most powerful thing that you can do for yourself, because you will have the ability or the tools or the strategies then to change your life and the way that you think about stuff, and that will impact on everyone and everything around you. So we're doing all of this and it's all fantastic, but then we need to keep the momentum going, and we need to look at strategies that we can use, like practical steps for cultivating self-love. So self-care is the first. We need to prioritize self-care activities that nourish our body and mind. So that might be exercise or meditation or hobbies or things that we do to relax, because we need to start acknowledging that we are an amazing piece of machinery. Our body is incredible, but we need to take care of it. Our mind is exceptional, but we also need to take care of that. And we can't give ourselves to anybody else. We can't help other people be the best that they can be, or do all the things that we think we need to do in life, if we're not taking time to make sure that we're running efficiently and managing our own well-being. So that's the first time. And also it's about valuing ourselves, learning to love ourselves enough that actually we want to take care of ourselves. Then we need to set boundaries, and this comes up time and time and time again. It is okay to say no, but sometimes we need to learn how to say no. And that can really help us protect our emotional well-being. It can stop us feeling put upon. It can stop us being pressured into situations we're not comfortable with. It can stop us from taking on stuff that is causing us overwhelm. And it can stop us from interacting with those people, or it can help us to stop the interactions we have with those people that aren't supporting and working with us. So boundary setting is really important. Positive affirmations. Can't tell you how important affirmations are. They're a really, really useful tool in firstly changing the brain chemistry, because it helps us to be more positive and vibrate at a higher vibration, which is definitely what we want for our well-being, and to cultivate a feeling of love. But also it helps to rewrite or overwrite neural pathways, but they have to be said over and over again. They have to be repeated to work, because what we're trying to do is create a stronger neural pathway of something we do want to believe, so that it's more powerful than the neural pathway of something that isn't working for us. So positive affirmations are really, really useful. I post one on my social media every Monday. Check them out, and if not, come up with your own. As long as it's positive and in the present tense and you can believe it, then it's an empowering and great thing to be using. Gratitude. I know I bang on about this all the time, all the time, but it is the jackpot way of changing a mindset and brain chemistry, and also changes the things that we focus in on life. And the more gratitude that we can cultivate in our life, the more things that we can appreciate about ourselves and about the way that we live and the people that we have in our lives and the things that we get to do, the more aware we become of how lucky we are, really. And then the more things we have to be grateful for, and on it goes. And what it also does is it changes our focus from looking for the things that we don't have to really celebrating and being appreciative of the things that we do have. And that is a massive mindset shift, and that obviously can be applied to us. It helps us to stop looking at the things that we think we don't have about ourselves, that we're not good at, and it helps us to appreciate the things that we can like about ourselves, and ultimately helps us to bring self-love into our life. And forgiveness is another really important practical step that we can do. Stop holding on to grudges, stop punishing yourself for past mistakes. It's done. The past is done. All you can do is learn from it so that you don't do the same thing again, and then let it go. Once you've learnt your lesson, it serves no purpose. So when we forgive, it's not that we say it's okay that something happened. It's that we're stop punishing ourselves or holding a grudge against someone else for something they did, because the only person that's actually suffering is us, because we're reliving it over and over again and reliving the pain and the hurt and the beliefs that we formed around it. So look at what happened, look at what we can learn from the situation, look at how you can grow from it, and then let it go and forgive yourself and create some peace for yourself so that you can then grow in a different way. And then letting go of what no longer serves you. So that carries on from the forgiveness and moving into release. Identify the toxic relationships, the habits that don't work for you, the beliefs that are hindering your self-love journey, and let them go. If they don't align with your growth and your happiness and how you want to be living your life, why are you holding on to them? Just because we have thoughts does not mean we have to believe them. We are sentient beings who can choose what we believe. And if we are noticing our thoughts through mindfulness and we are seeing that they don't work for us or that we don't agree with them, then we can choose to find different beliefs or different ways of living and different ways of thinking that do work for us. And that is a gift. So make sure you use it. And then the next thing is to continually grow. Self-love is an ongoing process. Keep exploring, keep looking at the world around you, bring your strengths into the foreground, watch how they grow the more they use them. Look at how every time you get something right, you feel so incredible and empowered. And even if things doesn't go well for you, that doesn't mean you've got it wrong and that there's something wrong with you. It means that there's an opportunity to learn so you can grow from that. And that comes from the changing of your mindset and looking for positivity. And embrace the challenges as opportunities for personal development. Be patient with yourself. Understand that setbacks are part of the journey. It's not like you take a magic pill and everything changes. It's a process. It's a lifelong journey, and we don't get a certificate at the end. All we do is we get this process of living better every day, and that has to be the work that we put into it. So I guess really summing up, loving yourself is a profound act of self-compassion and an essential foundation for a happy and fulfilling life. If we don't love ourselves, it holds us back in our relationships. We don't quite believe that other person loves us, or we don't feel that we're deserving of someone else's love. And so we look for relationships where we can be more predictable, or we know are going to fail before we've even set foot in them, so that then we can turn around and go, see, I told you. I'm not worthy, no one loves me. And so we're constantly doing that through our relationships. So when we cultivate self-love and we put all these processes in place, then we're actually giving off a different vibration. And so we do attract different people into our relationships. And because we're now starting to think differently about ourselves, we manage the relationship differently, and that helps us to grow. And then, of course, that makes us feel better, and it helps us to realize that we are lovable and wonderful, and that then boosts our confidence and our self-worth, and that makes us feel more lovable. And then we get this wonderful, proactive, really helpful and strong cycle of beliefs, which we want to be cultivating. And by incorporating mindfulness and shifting your mindset and improving your self-esteem and discovering your strengths and maybe getting coaching and support and implementing the strategies and letting go of negativity and committing to this continual growth, you can embark on a totally transformative journey towards really accepting yourself and learning how to love yourself deeply and authentically, because you are deserving of love and kindness. But you have to start by learning to believe that. And that, I hope, is what this podcast will help you do. As always, if you want to get in touch or you need further support with this, please get in touch via the website simplybe.org.uk. If it's helped you and you think it could help someone else, please share and subscribe. Leave me a comment in the comments if you want me to offer you some more feedback or something, or you just let other people know whether you found it helpful. But whatever you do, please take this as your nudge from the universe to start taking care of you, because you are amazing and you are worthy of love and you do deserve it. And I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. And the more people that we can encourage to accept and love themselves, the better it is for all of us, because it improves our relationships, it improves our communication, it improves our communities, it improves our parenting, our work relationships. It has such a huge knock-on effect, but mostly it empowers you to thrive, and that is what it's all about. So thank you for listening. I hope you'll join me for the next one. Take care.